Next up, we have, after conversational commerce, conversation insights, it has been very tech heavy. We are going to a very, very interesting session. It's a standalone session, but a very interesting session on cybersecurity. Again, something we've been talking a lot. The session is on cybersecurity, keeping user safe online. For the same, I would like to request Mr. Saikat Mitra, Vice President, Head of Trust and Safety, APAC Google, to come on stage. Welcome, Saikat. Can we have some round of applause, please?
Thank you. At Google, safety is never a checkbox. It is the foundational way in which we build products and platforms. And that is why I'm thrilled to be here today to talk about our recent investments in cybersecurity, ensuring that hundreds of millions of Indian users who repose their trust on our products and platforms can do that with the confidence about their online safety. Good evening. My name is Saikat Mitra, and I head Google's Trust and Safety for the Asia-Pacific region. Our team of over 20,000 personnel spread around the world work 24/7 to keep our users and products safe. We bring the world's best experience and expertise in policy development, child safety, cybersecurity, digital forensics, and we pair that up with really deep investment in technology, especially in AI/ML, in digital forensics, and threat intelligence. Bit of an eye chart, but the intent here is to give you a sense of our journey in building safety into our products. So the way we think about safety for users is we believe that safety should be inbuilt into the product and prevent users from getting harmed. So over last 20 years, we have been building safety all along. And even today, we are equally passionate and energized about investments and innovation in this space so that every day you are safer with Google. Now, user safety takes a completely different perspective when it comes to India. It's a country which is one of the most unique countries in the world in terms of growth of digital presence. Hundreds of millions of users are coming online for the first time. Internet is reaching the far ends of the country. And people are finding unique ways of using the power of internet, whether it be education, healthcare, jobs. We are really taking advantage of digital and digital literacy. The pandemic actually has accelerated that journey. And post-pandemic, a lot of individuals and businesses have not just become digital first, but they're also digital only. And I think that has been a tipping point in the digital journey for the country. However, with every good, there's also bad. And in the last couple of years, we have seen an explosive growth in cybersecurity threats in the country, which is consistent with what we are seeing around the world. And it's not just the volume, it's the complexity of the scams. And more scams are becoming more difficult to detect. They are cross-border, really difficult to trace down the roots of those scams. Advanced phishing and cloaking and many other abuses. And that is where the only way to get ahead of this is investment in technology, especially in the world of AI and ML. So the entire spectrum of AI and ML, from supervised learning, unsupervised learning, clustering, large language models, Google is really the pioneer and market leader in the space of AI and ML. And we have the world's best engineers working on AI and ML and applying AI ML in detecting abuse and fraud and keeping users safe. Now, in addition to the technology, we have a very deep philosophy, and the philosophy is secure by default, which is every product that launches at Google, we first think about how do we inbuild security into the product so that people are prevented. I want to take a few examples of how AI and ML is being used to protect users at scale. Gmail. Every day, and I'm sure all of you are Gmail users, every day we prevent 15 billion spam messages from reaching users' inboxes. Android is an ecosystem of over 3 billion devices. So the Google Play Protect actually protects 3 billion devices by scanning over 125 billion installed apps every day. So if you have an Android phone and you have downloaded apps, and it's not just the apps that you download from Play Store, the Android and the Play Protect actually scans all your apps every day to ensure that they don't have a malware, they don't have any other type of user threat. And when you do, we notify the user, we sometimes disable the app depending on how serious the violation is. And so that's also something that we do at scale using AI and ML. And of course, Chrome protects over 5 billion devices. If you have ever come across a red, scary-looking interstitial which says this site could be dangerous, that's basically trying to prevent you from navigating into a site that could potentially be hosting malware or is a phishing site. And I'm really proud to share it's not just about Google products, but we actually share our intelligence with the industry. So browsers like Safari and Firefox, they consume our intelligence and they do user protection. So user protection at Google is not just about our products, but it's also how we can keep the internet safe. Now, closer at home, our favorite payment product, Google Pay. Of course, it's extremely popular. It fills my heart. You go to remote villages and people send me the money on Google Pay. It's a great story of digital commerce in the country. But again, there have been also attempts of people defrauding people and tricking people into sending money versus receiving money. So every day, we use AI and ML to send 2 lakh alerts to people's devices telling you that this transaction could be suspicious. And what I love is, for me, it sends it in Bengali because that's my mother tongue. And so it's not just about sending these alerts in English, but also localizing them for individuals' preferred choices. And also, we have gone to the extent of certain alerts which are more serious is to give an haptic feedback. So you can't really just power through and ignore it, but you we freeze the person to take a look at it. And I think it's been a great success story in the country using Google Pay. Now, I talked about AI and ML. There's also the other side of it, which is human. Now, this cannot be only done by technology. Of course, the human element of it includes policy development, includes deep research and threat intelligence, includes training of machine learning models. So we augment our tech and our AI and ML with deep investments in some of the best experts around the world. And I'll talk a little bit about what we do in YouTube, just to give you that connection point. So YouTube, of course, small trivia, every minute, 500 hours worth of video get uploaded into YouTube. Now, if you put that in perspective for a second, it's a pretty significant amount of content that if you have to protect at scale, you really need to bring that combination of tech and human intelligence together. Our YouTube content policies, which are called community guidelines, are probably one of the most exhaustive policies on what we allow and we don't. And we, of course, take action and remove content from YouTube if they don't adhere to our policy guidelines. How we also bring in the human element is we have this concept of trusted flaggers. And these are experts in their own domain, whether it be radicalization, hate speech, harassment, child safety. And we empower them to provide us input and deep domain expertise for us to make these decisions. And then, of course, enabling users at the end of the day to report things that they did not feel was appropriate. Now, I do a lot of these speeches, and every time in the past, whenever I've done it, people have asked me, so how many do you exactly remove? Like how many videos? They give us a sense. The other question I've also got is, okay, that I understand all those global numbers, but tell me for India. Okay, so we brought that here. This is just an example. So in Q3 of last year, we removed 1.7 million videos only in India. The other question I got a lot is, okay, so how much of that did you proactively, preventively remove versus how much did you remove because somebody asked you to? 96% was removed us preventatively and proactively. The other important metrics that we track is how many got removed before it became viral, like we were talking about virality before. 83% of this 1.7 million was removed before they got 10 impressions. So we are not just good at removing it proactively, but we're good at removing it proactively at speed. And I think that, to us, is the essence of content safety. Now, that brings me to a part that I feel personally very passionate about. As a parent, content safety for children and age-appropriate content is, of course, top of mind. And we have been thinking a lot about, how we can embody that. Now, of course, those of you here as parents, you know that internet has really become a significant part of children and their development. Whether they're doing school projects, whether they're doing social projects, internet is really a really powerful tool for them. And it has got ingrained, especially post-pandemic, how it has got ingrained into their day-to-day is really quite impressive. We started our journey on kids safety, and kids safety is one of those pillars that we really, really take very seriously at Google. It is something that is non-compromisable. We started off with YouTube for Kids, which is a highly curated YouTube that ensures that the content is absolutely kids-friendly. But then, over the last couple of years, we've actually gone a step further. And the reason is, by kids, we don't really mean kids of a certain age group. Like, as they grow, how does that adapt to them? And as we gave a lot of thought to that, we felt giving control to the parents and the guardians is really the answer. And so the supervised mode of YouTube, which actually helps you as a parent to control what kind of content and what kind of degrees of freedom you want to set for your child, and it puts the control on your hand. And alongside that, which is built in, is digital wellness and digital well-being. And so that's our commitment to keeping children safe online, and particularly YouTube in mind. Now, all of this is great, but as you can understand, it's a pretty monumental challenge. And this cannot be done by any one entity or corporate. And that is why we really believe safer internet requires a multi-stakeholder approach. I think it's industry, government, internet users all coming together and protecting internet and keeping internet safe. I really applaud sessions and like this, which actually brings together a large segment of the industry and government together in terms of committing to a safer internet for all. And that's how we really think about going forward. A few months back, this was mid last year, at our Safer with Google event, which was actually here at Delhi, we made a few commitments. So we said we will be investing and supporting local communities, investing in user awareness, and prioritizing skill development. We have been making grants through our google.org for elderly as well as for LGBTIQA groups in their digital literacy, because they are quite vulnerable. I'm sure you have seen our YouTube videos and our on Raho Do Kadam Aage. The mango ones were my favorite. And of course, we made a commitment to train 1 lakh developers in cybersecurity so that people can build, so it's not just Google products, but the ecosystem. And I'm happy to share that we have, by now, I think we made that in somewhere in September, October timeframe. And from there till now, we have trained over 50,000 developers through this roadshow in training them how to build apps, safe. So I want to conclude by saying safer internet, I think, is something that we need to give to, it's our commitment to humanity, it's our commitment to future generations. And we are extremely excited and proud to be part of that and working through that with the industry, the government, and all of you together. Thank you.